Welcome to another episode of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh, Nintendo News Daily. It's Monday. How the heck are you? So good to be chatting with you guys. And what, I guess since I've been doing Monday through Thursday, like a 3-day weekend. So, um, I'll be totally honest. The news is there's not a lot there. Not a lot there. Fingers crossed we see a direct this week. A little bit of housekeeping. I am traveling on Wednesday, so I won't be around Wednesday or Thursday this week. It'll just be Monday, Tuesday, and then that will be it. I'm pretty sure there may still be something out on the podcast feeds, but if you're one of the live, there will not be any live shows. Um, uh, as I am I'm heading back to Washington State for a couple days. So for to visit family. So really excited about that. So I will be out on Wednesday. So I see Joey is here. Says, "Hey, I made it. Welcome." Nady Nay is here with the poke hope. The Cryptic says, "What if a direct happens?" I'll still. I'm taking a microphone with me, so I'll still do like audio shows for sure. If the direct like happens to go down, but like if it happens on like, aren't they calling for the 5th, which is what, Thursday? Is that right? 3rd, 4th, 5th. So, um, th that's the day pretty I'm pretty busy, and unless if they do it at 6 a.m., maybe something could happen. Maybe we could react live, but we'll just have to wait and see. So, and I hope something does happen, honestly. Like, I am more than ready for to find out. And it seems like there's more stuff getting kind of leaked for this upcoming direct, and it seems like people are very excited um for some of the stuff that is potentially happening. With there's just a lot of partner stuff, but uh and maybe before we jump into the news, we can have a quick little one off here because like there's already people saying that Nintendo is no better off than the PlayStation at this point. And I don't like, do you guys agree with that? And Nate's making a good point though. He says, "Yeah, we need more old ports." Haha, I'm just kidding. But to a certain extent, like I think one side of the argument, or one side of that coin, is that like, well, like depending on the type of gamer you are, that's that's a lot of what you're seeing. Don't get me wrong, like there's a lot of like Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, uh Metroid, Kirby, Hyrule Warriors, right? Pokemon. Now granted some of those are on Switch 1 and Switch 2. That's still a pretty hefty lineup. And then you sprinkle third parties in, we've talked about like Tony Hawk and Bravely Default and Street Fighter, Cyberpunk, not to mention some more indies. I I understand we got tennis coming out this month, like just like a week away. It's maybe not for everybody. Um and so I'm curious on what, like, where you guys are at with this. Like, are you feeling like Nintendo's not putting out enough fast enough and not hyping up enough? Or like I'm like, there's so much to play, and there's so much to catch up on that I'm like, I'm not even close to like my backlog or anything like that. And maybe I'm I'm too optimistic. You know, I don't know. I like the the small amount of time that I have been spending gaming, I've been having a good time. I've been having a good time playing Fortnite quite a bit with my girl. Uh some Mario Kart here and there. And I honestly feel like I've slowed down a little bit on gaming. I've been focusing more on my music right now and started to record an album, and so that's taken up a ton of my time as well. So, I just wanna grab some of the chats, like, Joey says they got more exclusives since Switch 2 release than PS5 has had its whole life. I mean, I mean, I'm not saying that's exactly accurate, but I mean, it is a the number's not huge, that's for sure. Joey says Donkey Kong Bonanza is better than anything on PS5 hands down. That's a bold claim. That's a bold claim for sure. Cryptic says they are old, but not everyone is privileged to have multiple consoles. That's also a thing. You know, it says also we are still getting new stuff as well, like RE9, the new FromSoft game. Exactly. Joey says, yeah, tennis. Yo, we all gonna play together, play launch night, Mario Tennis? I hope so. That's the goal. Um, Nate says it doesn't have to be two consoles. Cryptic says, I'm glad there isn't always something to play. It reminds me of the old days where you can be a kid and enjoy a game for months without having to have and play the new game from FOMO. Yep. I think Hoffman is disagreeing when with the better than anything on PS5 and all the laugh emojis. Uh, Nady Nay said, Joey, Big Macs are exclusive to McDonald's. It doesn't make it a go-to burger. I mean, it's that's the conversation is worth talking about because it seems like there's people on all kinds of the fence. Like, a friend of the show, Nintendo Land, was like, he tweeted a picture of his PS5 and said, "This is the reason I don't care about third parties because he's already played them." So, like, I do think there's some validity to that, but at the same time, like, if Nintendo only caters to first party and if they don't try to establish the Switch 2 as a third party machine, I think there's a very real possibility that it'll fall into the same category as Nintendo has always been in, and the main focus is the first party stuff. I think maybe that's where some of the hardcore gamers are having a bit of a hard time with it is because they're like, "Yo, I buy multiple consoles to play the best versions of every game where I can, and Nintendo's the only place I can play those Nintendo games, and that's what I'm after." So, uh, let's see, Mohammed says, "Dustbloods, Zelda, and Mario games. I don't want anything else from Nintendo um, for Gen 9." Oh, interesting, okay. I mean, and it's valid, like, and that's kinda what I'm getting at, like, I do think there are a lot of like, I think that I'd love to know the numbers, I don't know that you ever really could, but, like, and I think Nintendo tries to find out through, surveys and stuff like that, like, how which systems do you own and all that, but I mean, I'm in a position where I know firsthand listeners of this show, like, only play Switch or now Switch 2. That's it. Shout out to my boy Nick, like, uh, I know I know they are just a Switch household, and he's loving all this third party stuff. And I do think I think there is something to Nintendo establishing themselves as a third party machine also, because there's a choice to be made for the consumer looking at the price tag of everything when they're deciding to step into a console for this generation right now. Are they gonna look at the PS5? Are they gonna look at the Xbox? Probably not, like, probably not. Or are they gonna look at the Switch? Because the $50 price difference is not that much when your average consumer is they just wanna know where the games are gonna be and where can I play those games. At least I think it's one aspect of it, right? It's not there's so much to this conversation. So, um, let's see. Nate says, "It doesn't bother me though. Stuff will come that I'm interested and I can't complain." There you go. I just want to welcome everybody in too. Like if you guys are just jumping in, Mohammed I saw and Charlie's here. Boo Mini, welcome, welcome. If I missed anybody, Hoffman, hello, hello. So, um, If you guys are just lurking, appreciate you. Nate says I can always just get better at panty party skills. Here we go. Here we go. Charlie wants GTA 6 to come to Switch 2. There's a lot of people that want that. Joey says I'm a console household, so if it's on Switch 2, I'll play it, and honestly, I'm okay with that. Yeah, yeah, and I like I think that luxury of having you know the Xbox, the PlayStation, the PC, and the Switch as the secondary console. I feel like that became it's not quite as convenient of a luxury anymore with the price tag of everything. And so that's something to consider. Like if you're gonna pull the trigger, it's I mean a console's an investment. There's no doubt. Like it's an entertainment investment, and where are you gonna get the most bang for your buck? I would say Nintendo right now, strictly for the fact of the exclusives, and that there seems to be more of them. But there's solid third parties on the other machines as well, and a handful of exclusives. So not Xbox anymore. So um Mohammed says PC and Switch all you need nowadays. Yep. Yep, yep. Cryptic says I know it's different themed audiences, but still you're doing survival stuff or life sim. Mhm. Yeah. Nate says I need more games, not more kids. Thanks Nintendo. Oh, and Devin. Amazing. Amazing. Midfight Senpai says all Nintendo has to do is make a better search feature for the eShop. That places a landmine, uh, a landmine field of obscure adult games and shovelware. Make it easier to find legit categories of games. Discount older games and basically run constant sales like Steam. I I feel like that's a strategy in and of itself that would probably tip the scales for the consumer that's walking up, you know, to a retailer right now and trying to decide which console do I get. If they know, man, a lot of the past Switch library is going to be discounted. There's a lot of games I can jump into, right? And I think PlayStation may have a little bit of an advantage there if somebody wants to sign up for their membership because they're going to get a lot of those games that they can then play uh you know, as being a part of the membership, but it's also another added cost. So there's so much to factor into all of this. And it's just so interesting. It's like if you sit back, part of me is almost like okay, feeling like I'm a bit on the fringes a little bit with like the conversations on X and whatnot because I'm just like I don't like none of this is that serious for me. It never has been. This has all just been for fun. And and it's strange. Like you can just see people butting heads over this stuff, and it's like it. I kind of I look at it like the people that take their sports so serious that they talk trash about like what's going to happen in a game, and then they end up having to eat crow. Like it's just easier just to sit back and watch it play out. So Cryptic says, I also think for 10 years we were so used to only having Nintendo games, and now that Nintendo is balanced um, and actually has backing Nintendo, not having high profile releases uh, isn't necessary at all times, right? Yeah, yeah. I think I'm picking up what you're putting down there, and that like they have to leave space for third parties to actually sell well, or third parties won't stick around. You're also talking about a console with a much smaller install base than any of the other consoles. Well, I don't know about I'm not sure where Xbox is at to be perfectly honest. But, you know, there's there's a lot of chess happening with all of this. A lot of moving parts because like the publishers are taking a risk putting a game on a system that doesn't have a large install base. The cost of going into getting those games ready for that system while in its infancy, and if Nintendo was just dominating everything with Mario, like the shadow that Mario is going to cast when it launches on Switch 2 will be significant. I feel sorry for any third parties or indies that are coming out on the Switch 2 during that time because it it's not Grand Theft Auto 6 shadow as far as like, but in the Nintendo verse, I would say it's close to. Like all eyes will be on Mario, Smash, Animal Crossing, like Legend of Zelda. They're a big deal. There's no question. So I really feel kind of just stepping back and watching it all unfold, and even like right now I have the the first article that I have is for Resident Evil, but I mean, look at the ad on the side of Nintendo Life. Final Fantasy, right? It's done. I think the key cards were sold out in stores. People were having a hard time finding it. I think packaging them with cards, brilliant move, but I mean, that game's been selling. It's been selling. So, I think all in all, like, it's going to be rough for early adopters that only play Nintendo for Nintendo, but for people that are, like Joey, he's gonna be good. Joey says, um and boom, and he said drama, LOL. Oh, yes, gotta love it. Joey says, "For me, I just need, uh some good games like Mario Kart World, Animal Crossing, Donkey Kong Bonanza. When I was with the PS4, I felt like it was quantity over quality. Now, since joining Switch 3 years ago, it's quality over quantity for sure. Yeah, I mean, especially if you were if you were 5 years late into the Switch, uh, into that library of games, you've got so much to go back and play, so much. So Cryptic said 20 years if we go back to Wii U for sure. Nate says, but what do a lot of people but Nintendo want Nintendo for, I think, and that uh, yeah, that's the other side. If I'm understanding, he says my beef is 3 months of farming type crap, Animal Crossing, Nintendo Switch 2 version, Pokopia, Tamagotchi Life. Like, where's the break in between this genre? So I think part of the answer to that question is is it's not even that uh it's not that there needs to be a break necessarily. It's that I think what everybody expected um Mario Kart to do was to kind of like I mean it's doing numbers, but I just don't feel like I don't feel like there are as many people still playing Mario Kart World as there were 8 Deluxe, like, years down the road, right? Like, I feel like Mario Kart's getting picked up and getting played occasionally, like, for parties, unless you're, like, really, really hardcore. I don't know how much casuals are playing, at least based just on conversation and seeing people talk about it. And I think if Mario Kart was doing more of that heavy lifting of keeping us engaged and like, "Yo, I'm racing to unlock stuff, and I'm having a blast doing Knockout Tour and all that kinda stuff," I feel like there would probably have been, uh, a lot less, maybe questions around what was coming out because it would feel like I think at the end of the day, Mario Kart World doesn't feel like the heavy hitter that everybody was anticipating. I think. I think. So, you know, and then Donkey Kong Bonanza is so good, but, looking at the numbers that it sold, it's falling into that niche category. And then you've got Pokemon being Pokemon, which is gonna do, it's gonna do numbers no matter what. But and maybe Mario Kart World is helping third party to some extent because it's like people are picking it up, but it's not getting as much time being they're not playing it as much as maybe, you know, we had thought. And so it's like, yo, I want what else am I what's the next game I can pick up? What's the next game I can play? So um let's see. Let's see. Joey says, interesting thought. How many people will be seeing Mario Galaxy trailer for the first time at the Super Bowl? Oh, I mean, look, like you would think like my daughters would be like completely in the know with anything and all things Nintendo. Yeah. I have to send them. I have to send them a a text to a YouTube video. I have to let them know Tomodachi Life had a direct, they're not paying attention to it unless unless I'm letting them know. And I don't even know if that's something with that generation. I don't know if they aren't as plugged in and as hyped about their entertainment. But I mean, look at the numbers. The game video game sales were down as low as they were back to 1995, you know? And uh I think a lot of gifts people end up getting are like, V-Bucks and Robux and those games are dominating a lot of the younger generations. Like Fortnite and Roblox they're that's kind of who Nintendo's in competition with, it seems like. So, United is here. What's going on? Welcome on in. Nate says Donkey Kong was never going to do humongous numbers off the rip, being exclusive to Switch 2. The report that we got a while back was almost 25% attachment, so it's not bad. No, no, it's not bad. If I came across this sounding like it was bad, that wasn't the case. But it's not the heavy hitter that a 3D Mario would be, right? Like if a 3D Mario had come out, you're talking like every Switch at Christmas, every Switch 2 would have had a copy of Mario Kart and a copy of 3D Mario, you know? And I mean, the little guy here, his grandma got him Donkey Kong Bonanza. I had to he's been loving the DLC. He's been playing the DLC. He was like, "Hey, can I get the DLC again? Because I have to send it to him via the family plan." And he's loving it. I'm gonna probably end up buying him his own uh copy of it because I think it's something that he enjoys just going after the challenge, which I mean, we've all talked about it. We thought it was kind of lacking a little bit, but I mean, for him, it scratches that itch. So, Joey says, "I hope a 3D Mario does come out with the movie. It'll do monster movies. Like, ah, I'm, uh, yeah, I I don't see it happening with this movie, and I hope it's not that far out because I would be seriously bummed if the 3D Mario is that far out. But I mean, the rumors are that it's here's what's interesting, guys. Last week we got, the rumors and the leaks. I feel like it was outlined, correct me if I'm wrong, but like the direct was outlined and here are all the big and then it's a partner direct. So somebody got misinformed, right? Seems 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 a bit odd to me anyway. Nate says now Fortnite becoming nostalgia for people, which is crazy. I feel like Fortnite is like the couples game. Like I keep seeing all of these videos. Like I found somebody's Fortnite girlfriend. He's throwing bandies, you know, and that kind of stuff's hilarious to me. Cryptic said, I expected some game to do Breath of the Wild numbers where each Switch had more copies than Switches sold, but it didn't happen with DK or Mario Kart. I mean, Mario Kart is. Uh, it'd be a good thing to look up, but I would bet you Mario Kart World is selling faster than than Breath of the Wild did. I would bet you, like, to a certain I mean, because it was packed in, right? Even though even though the initial run of Switches sold out and Breath of the Wild ended up selling more, I don't know that that initial run was as impressive as what we've seen here. And I think m I don't know, maybe there's just not as many people talking about games anymore. Maybe there's not as many people, like, because I talk to a lot of different YouTubers and stuff like that, and they're just like, "Yo, everything's down. Like, numbers are down." And I'm wondering if people are just kind of, um, like, gaming's becoming a little bit less of lifestyle and more of just, like, the hobby on the side, which means that you're not gonna be engaging with content as much, and you're not gonna be, um it's not gonna be dominating your life like it did, you know? So, uh it's all interesting stuff and just fun conversation. Boom Mini says, "I'd love Super Mario World remake into something open world." Ooh, that would be so fun. Nate says, "From 11 to almost being able to drink alcohol." Yeah, it's kinda crazy. Nintendo Prime mentioned in his latest video that apparently we are going to get the partner direct, then a mainline direct after it. And that's, I mean, it based on the leakers. So, I mean, it's very possible. Um, Cryptic said Nintendo Prime also said a Switch 2 OLED was happening. And a lot of, a lot of people picked that stuff up. But I mean, I think that's also like you're as a creator, you're like looking for these things to try to entertain with, right? And um try to keep the audience coming back. So you've got to find these kind of off the wall stories and this stuff, and then just sit and talk about it, and hopes that brings the numbers. Some people start to go fully negative, like it's the uh just the discourse around different games from different communities, like. And again, I'm looking at numbers of everything. Nothing seems to be doing crazy numbers like it used to. It just doesn't. Nate says, "Yeah, source properly cryptic." Boomini says, "What if we get them back to back? Partner showcase the 5th, General the 6th. So great. I mean, it'd be insanity. That would be insane, you know? And again, watch what happens to numbers. I mean, even this show, you know, when the Switch 2 launched, I hit the highest the record by over 3,000 downloads when when the Switch 2 came out. So, like, there is most definitely a hype cycle, and it's the beginning of February right now. So, like, it doesn't surprise me that that things are just a bit slow. Like, we're just waiting, and I mean, how many of us were anticipating Microsoft doing a direct thinking, "Oh, they're gonna show something for Switch 2," and not a single mention. Not a single mention. In fact, all they showed was one new game that wasn't already announced, I believe, and it looks like a game that's gonna fail right off the bat to me. I could be wrong, but I just nothing about that game looked appealing. Like creating your character out of clay and then doing battle with it, it did 0 for me. I think Forza is a fantastic series. I don't I feel like I'm not even sure what I think of Fable. Like, I don't know that Fable would really was doing it for me, and I loved the last games. I loved them. This one just it kinda looked a little bit slow, and apparently they're gonna do, like, office style cutscenes where the camera's gonna go back to, other NPCs, and they're gonna do little mini interviews and stuff, and I'm just like, "I don't know. I don't know about all this." Like, maybe the story's gonna be something fantastic, it's just the like, I think part of at least the very first game was, like, kind of the cartoony charm of it all, and then and doing the like, you'd have to do things like doing the YMCA, and feel like I played a lot of the second one and really liked that one as well, but I don't even know that like I don't even know that I'm enjoying, like, the graphics of the new Fable games. So, the fact that they had 0 for the Switch 2 still is surprising. Maybe Nintendo's going to show more, but I'm not I'm thinking Xbox, like, we'll probably see some Call of Duty or something because that's been talked about a lot, but outside of that, it seems like they're taking their time. So, uh, Nate makes a great point. He says Switch 2 seems to have a Tears of the Kingdom sequel type effect on right now. Yeah, it does. It does. So, well, we're already 30 minutes in. This is super cool. I want to at least talk about this because I've had some funny comments today that Nate brought to my attention. So Pokemon Pokopia, the Switch 2 pre-order bonus is revealed for North America. This is coming at us via Nintendo Life here. And if you pre-order on Amazon, keep in mind you're going to get the game key card. You can get, are you guys ready? Are you ready? The flat leaf plant. Yes, you can get a potted plant. And according to the article here, if you're not planning on getting Pokemon Pokopia from these stores, you'll apparently still be able to get the plant through regular gameplay, so no trainer should miss out. And I mean, I literally saw people on X talking about like how that's going to be the item that everybody is going to want in their house when they're decorating, and so you're gonna have to pre-order to get this. No, it's in game. Like I just I was like, I saw that there was a a pre-order bonus, right? In-game gift with purchase, and so I was like, "Oh, I bet this is gonna be sick," right? Mm, no, nah. I was kinda shocked. I was kinda shocked. Nate says, "Oh, man, take my 70." Uh, United says, "I love Tears of the Kingdom, but I played it on the Switch Lite." Hey, there you go. Midfive says, "Literally just a snake plant. I have 2 in my house right now. How is that going to sell Switches?" I I don't this is very odd. Like, I could see a super rare shiny Pokemon that they would use. I'm a little bit baffled. Uh, like, how is this a carrot on the stick? And maybe it's that amiibo effect where they're like, "We don't know how to give pre-order bonuses in game because we don't want people to feel left out, but we also wanna give something, but it's not anything that you're not gonna get in game later." So it's really like, I don't know. They're also like, "Hey, these retailers wanna sell these game key cards, so let's sweeten the deal for them," but, like, that's really not that sweet of a deal. It's such a it's so strange to me. Um, Cryptic said this is the first time in a while we get a pre-order bonus from one of Nintendo's franchises. True. Nate said, "Back in the day with Modern Warfare 2 pre-order, getting actual night vision goggles. Boy, have times changed." Yes. Yes. Um, let's see. Cryptic said, "This reminds me of when we got Piranha Plant and Smash, but at least Plant had moves." True. Very true. Midpie Senpai says, "Is this Game Freak? If so, they are doing minimum effort and focusing on their new IP, Xbox, PS5, PC." So this is actually the development team is the team behind Dragon Quest Builders. From my understanding, that's the team that's doing this game. So maybe there's some kind of support from Game Freak. I don't want to say that there's not because I just don't know off the top of my head. But this is that team, and I don't know if they're from Square or if they're just a freelance studio. I'm not really sure, but they um they're the ones doing this. So I mean, Pokemon knows the game's going to sell. It's got Pokemon in the name, but it's such a strange this. I'm not looking at this going, well, that's where I'm going to pre-order. Like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. And I don't know, maybe some cozy game enthusiasts would be like, "No, no, no, I have to have this right away. I can't wait to decorate with it." Like, I don't know. I don't know, it looks pretty basic to me. It looks pretty basic, so maybe it'll help move. But I mean, I wanted to mention, like, so Nate put at the beginning of the stream, Poke Cope, Cope, Ia, and, like, some of the comments on the video that I made about this today, like, I don't like, nobody seemed very happy about it. Everybody seemed pretty, uh, bent out of shape. Nate said, "Cozy game enthusiast, I about fell out of my chair." Boomini says, "I'm hoping for Witchbrook and, Neverway release dates." There you go. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So, but yeah, like, a lot of the comments, again, Pokopia, game key card equals no buy, uh, like, and I don't even know if some like, I literally gave no opinion. I'm like, "Don't shoot the messenger. Here is the news. You get an in-game item for pre-ordering at Amazon. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's literally it." So, Cryptic said, "I better get a pre-order bonus for AC. Maybe a flower. Yeah, you'll get an extra fruit. You'll get an extra piece of fruit, so you'll have 3 pieces of fruit after your mom sends you your 2nd or 3rd one." So, well, that's gonna do it for today, guys. I know we didn't cover a ton of news and kinda just did more of a topic-based show tonight, but, again, news is relatively slow. I do wanna recommend one thing to go and check out. It's kinda cool, honestly. It's pretty sick, is the Resident Evil Requiem live action short. It's about 3 minutes and 35 seconds, and it's well done. It gives some serious, like, Walking Dead vibes, and so, uh, I would go and check it out. It's pretty rad. Pretty rad. So, appreciate you guys all so very much. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your night, and as always, play it loud.